Hey, what's up guys? DMJ here. Tonight we're going to level up 2 characters. Because I killed a dragon, you get 2 XP rolls. We're also going to be adding some traits to the characters from one of the books. It adds a little bit more personality and life to the characters. And then finally, we're going to be looking at the Tome of Adventure. Basically, that is going to log our accomplishments, and we're going to start a guild. So let's get started. So real quick, here's one of the note cards that I was talking about, where it's sort of describes the steps for the final boss. Down there we got morale, and if it's a final boss, the extra stuff that can go on with it. But yeah, I'm just going to keep this nearby. And I've had this for quite some time. It's from a Dungeons and Dragons dice set, and I've never used it for anything. And so I thought this will be super cool to track the boss hit points. So I have most of this stuff on PDF, but I want the actual copies of the books. They have this smell to them that just reminds me of old school Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know what it is. But long ago, around the time of first edition, there were these, they were official Dungeons and Dragons books. They were about this big. I got mine at a toy store at the mall called Circus World. And it was Dungeons and Dragons, but it was some other kind of game. I can't quite pinpoint it, but that's what these books remind me of. And I remember I loved those books as a kid, and this art is just like it. So super cool. I'm not gonna take too much time here, and I'm not gonna read everything. I'm just gonna show you some of the new stuff in the book. It starts with the classes right there. They got a green troll where it's kind of civilized, but he's like a brute basically. And you can see this is some of the new stuff that they have. Down at the bottom, you got animal companions. So the character traits are completely optional. It's basically just to add flavor to your characters and kind of bring them to life, give them some personality. Yeah, let's get rolling. All right, let's start with the she-wolf. White's always high. We got 45. So the she-wolf has Brink of Death, and this is gonna be kind of hard to track. It'll be a challenge. When the PC remains with only 1 life point and receives no healing at all from any sources for a minimum of 6 encounters, the PC receives 1 Brink of Death point. When the PC has 6 Brink of Death points, they complete the milestone and gain a permanent +1 life point. All right, that'll be kind of fun to track that and see if she can get some free health. Let's go with fingers. Oh, I hate this thing. It's cocked. All right, we got 23. It reminds me of achievements from Halo. Vermin Exterminator. As soon as a character has slain 100 vermin creatures, the character gains +1 attack versus all vermin creatures. That's pretty cool. So I'm definitely gonna make a sheet to track these achievements. Let's go for Evelyn. 13. What is the chances that Evelyn is 3rd in the order and I get Thundermaster, which is for a spellcaster? That's amazing. As soon as a spellcaster inflicts 20 life points of damage with the lightning spell over the course of a campaign and at least 1 lightning spell cast by the character has exploded, the character becomes a Thundermaster and gains a permanent +1 to casting lightning spells. That's super cool. Count also spells cast from scrolls or magic items. All right, Paul Saul gets a 32. Gem Collector. As soon as the character has at least 10 gems worth of at least 50 gold each, he can use them to have 1 item of jewelry built that will be worth 50% more than the sum of the value of all the gems used. So even though he is a priest or a cleric, maybe his background or his family is in the jewelry business. We're gonna start off with fingers. He's 1st level, so all he needs is to beat a 1. He gets it. And I think we're gonna do Evelyn. She's had her butt kicked over the last couple adventures, and she's level 1, so all she's gotta do is beat a 1. Now that we're gonna be back to Castle Crest, which is a town in my world of Zexia, that this is gonna be based around. She-Wolf is at full hit points of 9. Paul Saul's got full hit points of 5. And then now Fingers and Evelyn have 5 hit points and they're back to full. Since we all got torched by the Dragonfire, we're gonna be known as the Fireforged Brigade or the Fireforged. And so I'm gonna go ahead and write that right here. I'm also gonna be using a friction pen. It's cool because you can write in pen and then you can erase it. The Tome of Adventure, a complete and concise account of the exploits of the Fireforged Brigade in the world of Zexia. For those of you that have never watched my videos, Zexia is my D&D world. All of these pages will go into the new binder if it shows up tomorrow. The next page in here is Books in Play. We have the 4AD core book, and we have Wayfarers and Adventurers. We have the Guild Bank. Off the last adventure, we got 1 gem worth 30 gold. We have a piece of jewelry worth 130, and then we had 100 gold. So we are at 260 gold in the Guild Bank. Since we've decided to go into business like this, then everybody currently gets to keep the 5 gold, 5 gold, 3 gold, 3 gold that they have on them. But from this point forward, all gold gets pooled in to the Guild Bank, and then each adventurer gets paid based on his level. We have a scroll of protection and a scroll of escape that still has to be dealt with. Of course, the barbarian she-wolf doesn't want anything to do with anything magical. So I'm gonna roll for Fingers, then I'm gonna roll for Paul, and I'm gonna roll for Evelyn. All right, so Paul doesn't get anything. Kind of makes sense that Fingers took the scroll of escape and Evelyn took the scroll of protection to beef her armor up a little bit and more like a thief to want to escape, so that works. Here's our current guild roster, but now that we're back to the city and we've got this thing running, we're gonna have a few more people join for free, but then after that you have to hire them, or lower level class characters can just automatically join. To start with, you have 1 of every class in the guild roster. Like if you were building this from scratch, you would start with 1 of every class here. So basically these guys right here just showed up after we've got this thing up and running. Now we got to figure out if they're male or female. Odds are female for the warrior. That's a male. The elf. That's a male. The dwarf. That's a male. The halfling. That's a male. Wow. Was that all 2s? So I got names assigned for everybody. Everybody's level 1. They're all male. We have Stevos, the warrior. We have Thalion, the elf, Kragnir, the dwarf, and Cedric Burrows, the halfling. Next, we figure out the guild's influence level, and that is basically the average level of its members rounded down. So you add them all up, divided by how many characters there is, and that gives you your influence level. So if we add up all our levels, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 divided by 8 members gives us an influence level of 1. So at the end of next adventure, I can basically roll a random character class and he will join the guild. But if I specifically want to buy one, then I would have to pay 100 gold. So this is the random class table that I'll have to roll on when somebody new joins the guild. We have all the classes from the regular book, and then we have some of the ones from the second book. I didn't add the troll in because in our old games of D&D, you really couldn't be monsters. I mean, only on special occasions, and I kind of want to keep that feeling going on with this. Let's talk about paying adventurer wages. To sum this all up, it's 5 gold per level per adventure of the character. So there's also a little adjustment to the rule down here that talks about how you would pay them less, because the guild has to take at least 50% of the profits, which makes sense. So they may end up getting a little bit less than that. It all depends on the adventure and what I decide at the time. So perhaps it will be a case-by-case scenario depending on the guild's bills for the month or week. This is the guild vault. This is where we will keep extra weapons and extra goodies that we find along the way, which can be equipped to different characters. when they need them, or if somebody loses a weapon or something like that, I don't have to buy them if I've got some stuff in the vault. And last, we have a random spell table. They have one in the book, but with all the new books, you're gonna get more spells. And so you just write them in here, and that way it makes it easier to pick when the time comes. Hey, I hope you guys liked the video. If you can, subscribe and like it. And most importantly, leave a comment. I like hearing from you guys, and I like to know that you're out there and some of your thoughts on this stuff. So, all right, guys, tomorrow I'm gonna shoot the game, and I'll have it up probably Sunday morning. See ya.